channel. Thank you so much for watching. Today I filmed a daytime glam makeup look, which is just something that I just came up with because the weather outside is so nice. Obviously it's the beginning of February and it's supposed to be cold, but although the weather in the south is kind of crazy because one day it can be warmer and then the next day it's super cold. 74 degrees in the winter is like crazy. So feels so good. I had to put on a tank top, and me and my son are about to go play outside after I get done filming this intro. But for those of you who have asked before or were curious, I was born and raised in Alabama, but I'm currently living in Georgia. So that is where my accent comes from, which I did not even really realize that I had one until a lot of people commented on it. So I don't know how to feel about that, but it's fine. But for it to be 74 degrees in February is really awesome. So we're going to go play outside and enjoy the weather. But I just wanted to do something really fun and really kind of soft and simple, but also kind of summery and like a daytime glam. And I used my Tartelette in Bloom palette for the first time, which I love. And I did pair it with a pair of kind of edgy lashes, which I'm not really sure how I feel about because I kind of feel like they make me look like a doll. Compared to like my Ardell Demi Wispies that are really wispy and kind of natural looking, these ones are a lot different for me. So I used my last pair on a bride this weekend, and this was all I had sitting in my drawer, so I decided I would pop these on, and now it's just too late. But I hope they grow on me because obviously I thought they were pretty or else I never would have bought them, but right now I'm kind of iffy. So one last thing before we jump into the tutorial, I did pair this with a hot pink lip and I love it. As I've said before, hot pinks are my all-time favorites. But anyway, if you guys are interested in seeing this daytime glam look, then just keep watching.
Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be jumping back and forth between my face and my eyes. So for my primer, I'm going to be using my Hourglass Mineral Veil mixed with this No7 brand mattifying primer because my skin's kind of been funny lately and I'm getting kind of shiny even though it's not oil. So I'm going to go ahead and color correct using my NYX Green Concealer and my Maybelline Age Rewind Neutralizing Concealer on my mouth. And then for my foundation today, I'm going to be using my MAC Studio Fix Fluid in the shade NC20. And to blend that out, I'm going to be using my Sigma F80 Flat Top Kabuki brush. My Sigma F80 is my all-time favorite face brush, and I did try the Morphe M439, which is super popular right now, but I feel like it does give a super airbrushed effect, but it also soaks up a lot of product. So today I just decided that I would use my F80. And then, as always, I'm going to go back in with my Beauty Blender just to make sure that everything is blended and we don't have any harsh lines. So I'll just be running that all over my face to soak up any excess product on my skin. And then for my eyes, I'm going to be using my Tartelette in Bloom palette today, which I love. And I am going to be using some tape to tape off the outside of my eyes just so that we have a more crisp and sharp line with our eyeshadow. And this is not something I do every day just because sometimes with my wing liner, since it basically comes out different every day, I have a hard time lining this up just right. But you can always go back in with a Q-tip like I will do just to clean that up. Now for our shadows, I'm going to take the shades Smarty Pants and Flower Child from that palette and start working those into my crease with my Sigma E40. I did take a lot of time on this, even though it is sped up significantly, just because I wanted to make sure everything was really blown out and blended. So using windshield wiper motions, I'm just going to be working that back and forth into my crease. And then I did use some concealer to sharpen up my brows off camera, so I'm going to take the shade Flower Child and Charmer and set that concealer underneath my eyes while also making sure that those two shades are blended, kind of like using it as a transition. And then I'll be taking a little bit more of the shade Smarty Pants to just darken that up just a tiny bit more. And I'll be using the same Sigma E40. And now for my lid colors, I'm going to be taking the shade Funny Girl and Firecracker. And what I'm going to do is apply a layer of Funny Girl and then apply a layer of Firecracker and then go over again with maybe one or two passes of the shade Funny Girl. Just because since they are such different contrast shades, I didn't want to mix them together in the palette. And I thought that would be the most simple way to get a very pigmented payoff. And then using my Sigma E25, I'm just going to make sure that that color is blended. Now for my eyeliner, I'm sorry that this is so in and out of focus, but I'm going to be taking my Loreal Telescopic waterproof liner and doing my wing. And after I finish up my liner, I'm just going to take a Q-tip and clean up that little bit of eyeshadow that is in between my wing and my skin, just so that we still have that sharp line that I applied the tape for to get. And now, jumping back to my eyes, I'm going to take my under eye products, and I'm using several different concealer and highlighters today just because that's the look I wanted to go for. And I'll be taking the Becca Under Eye Corrector and the IT Cosmetics Bye Bye Undereye. So applying the Becca Corrector first, since it does have the pinky shade that's going to neutralize the purple and blue underneath my eyes. I'll apply that with my finger. And then taking the Bye Bye Undereye Concealer in the shade Light, I'm going to pat that onto my under eye and then blend it out with my Beauty Blender. I'm not really sure how I feel about this product yet because when I use it alone, it soaks up all of my translucent powder when I try to bake. So it does have more of like a very tacky and sticky feel, but it does do well with covering the under eye, so I'm still testing it out. And then I'll be taking my Naked Skin Concealer as usual and blending that out and highlighting underneath my nose, the bridge of my nose, and the center of my chin. And then for some additional highlighting, I'm going to take the MAC Prep and Prime Light Boost Concealer and just apply that underneath my eyes, down the bridge of my nose, underneath my nose again, and then also the center of my chin. And I know this is a lot of highlighting, but again, that's the look I was going for with this tutorial. So I just went all in with every single product that I own. I did blend that out off camera, and then I applied some RCMA No Color powder underneath my eyes to bake. And while I'm baking, I'm going to contour my cheekbones. So I'll be using the Stila Contour Duo in the shade Light, and I'll be applying that with a small concealer brush. And what I'm going to do is put that right above my cheekbones so that when I blend it out with my Beauty Blender, I have a more precise application. And that's a really good trick if this is the first time you're ever going to try cream contouring, because it makes sure that you don't have a messy application. And now I'm going to wipe off that excess powder with my small tapered brush from e.l.f. And then I'm going to run just a little bit of that powder right over the top of my cheekbones because I am going to go back and set it with my Shade Light Contour Kit. And I want to make sure that that blends out really easily. So taking the middle shade and the lightest shade out of that kit, I'm going to be using my Sigma F05 just to warm up my face a little bit and to contour my cheekbones just a little bit more. And what I like to do is use that smaller, more precise brush on my cheekbones and my temples, and then I'll take a larger, fluffier brush on my forehead just to bronze up my face and warm it up a little bit more. And so I'll be using my Morphe M527 to do that, which I really love this brush. And then I'll be taking the lightest shade in the palette and a small fluffy brush and contouring the sides of my nose. And then for blush today, I wanted something really bronzy and peachy, so I used the shade Bellissimo Bronze from Milani, and it's one of their baked blushes. And I'm just going to apply that onto the apples of my cheeks and the tip of my nose. And for lashes today, I'll be taking these Ardell Double Up 206 lashes, which I will say were a little bit harder to work with because the band was so thick that it almost didn't want to conform to the roundness of my eye. So I just took it and wrapped it around my finger to curl it a little bit so that I could have an easier application. And then I just popped those on with my tweezers and my brush on Duo Lash Adhesive. And these lashes were a little bit too blunt and sharp in the front for me, so what I did was just take a pair of scissors and kind of trim the front of the lash so that it'd be a little bit more wispy. And now blending in my false lashes with my natural lashes, I'm going to apply a coat of Loreal Telescopic mascara. And to line my waterline, I'm going to take this NYX Black Gel Liner because I did not apply any shadows onto my lower lash line today. But for our inner corner highlight, I'm going to take the shade Girly from ColourPop, which is a great dupe for the MAC Vanilla pigment, and of course a fraction of the price. And I'm just going to apply that into my inner corner with a pencil brush, and that's just going to be a nice pop of light in this eyeshadow look. And to highlight, I'm going to take this hard Candy Tiki bronzer, which is basically a highlight, and apply that with my Morphe M501 brush onto the high points of my cheeks, down the bridge of my nose, and the center of my chin. And for my lips today, I'm going to be taking the shade Masochist from Jeffree Star, which is out of stock right now, but it will be back on the 12th of this month. And make sure you put this down in your calendars because it's such a pretty hot pink shade. So I'm just going to wipe off my excess chapstick and then apply a thin layer of this onto my lips. I did not cut out much of this just because usually when I'm trying to show you guys how I apply my liquid lipstick, the footage gets lost or I am not in focus, I'm not even in frame. So I just decided that I'd leave in a larger portion of this so you guys could see how I apply my liquid lipstick. But that will complete this makeup look. So I hope you guys enjoyed. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys on my next tutorial. Bye!